Welcome to Ordo Militaris Radio TV. Today we're going to be talking to you about Ordo Militaris Catholicus, why you should join, the spirituality of it, and why we need you. And we welcome the president of Ordo Militaris, Brother Alexis Bonello, to the show.
Thank you, AJ, for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be on Ordo Militaris Radio TV, the apostolate you do as a knight in our order. And I want to first begin by thanking all the new members of the order who have pledged since January. And many of you who tried to pledge in the summertime and had your pledges canceled by Stripe or PayPal, you can now come back and pledge with us through PayPal. We have that working on the site. I want to thank all the great and saintly ancestors. AJ interceded for us because within a space of 3 hours, we went from getting an email from PayPal that said, "You're totally canceled and we'll never do business with you again," to "You're totally approved and go right ahead." So there's some kind of miracle that was worked or some battle going on inside PayPal. So I thank all these saintly ancestors. So if you don't know anything about the order, some brief history. So Father Jacques Hamel had his throat slit and he was stabbed in the chest during Mass on July 26, 2016. And on the 1st of August of that year, I found myself at the Church of St. Francis in Bagno Regio, Italy, praying to our Lord in my morning prayer, "Lord, how can we let priests get stabbed to death in our churches here in the West?" And it seemed to me, said, well, I said, we need to find men that would defend the church, the faithful. And it seemed that he was saying to me, "Seek and you shall find." And so within a few days on social media, it's the only way I knew to do it. It's not like I'm a friar or know anything about a military order. I got to know AJ, and by the end of that month, we founded Ordo Militaris Inc., a U.S. Private military corporation, to be the financial foundation of the order. And it went from there. And we've been doing a lot of good works, helping Christians or persecuted refugees with funding, supplies, support, one way or the other in these last 4.5 years. We're getting almost on 5 years now. And Ordo Militaris Catholicus is the international association of Catholics, Christians, and even non-Christians who want to collaborate together for the defense of Christians who are persecuted by terrorism. That is our essence and our purpose. And our corporation in Montana is a security company that assists us in all those affairs where it's necessary to have a legal entity or a bank account to do things. And AJ had just discovered. Tell them about your story about how you discovered your roots and then the order.
Yeah, so I was watching Beckett, and I also got his autobiography, and I was like, let's just read this book just to learn more about him, because I like the movie Beckett with the great English actor who did Beckett so well. And I was like, coming across this massacre with this boat accident, and to that English actor's voice, it was like Beckett was talking, like, go find your ancestors. And I was already curious because, well, I've always been curious. It's like, there has to be some way we got here. Started looking on my dad's side. It all stops in 1800s in Germany. So I started doing my mom's side through her grandmother, my great-grandmother, Blanche Pulver. All of a sudden, these big names started popping up. John I, Richard the Lionheart's brother, Richard the Lionheart, Henry II, Henry I, William the Conqueror, all those big names, all those big houses. I was like, there's no way that is correct. So I spent a good portion of time either writing English, Welsh, or German in translators to the historical societies. Like, I found this through this line. I was like, is this correct? Like, yeah. Okay.
And you traced it all the way back to Charlemagne himself, isn't that?
Yep.
So, and is there any nobility in Europe you're not related to by marriage or blood?
Mm, no.
So many ask us at the order, how can you, our Franciscan hermits, found a military order? So my response at the beginning was, well, our Lord asked me to do something, but I've matured in my response. And well, you know, the heir of like hundreds of kings and a friar inspired by God, isn't that enough? What more do you need? So we are not officially connected to any political entity, nor are we connected to the church. We're an independent organization and allows us to speak and act freely without political motivations of any kind. That guarantees that our members actually work for the ideal. And we are not a nonprofit, so that we have free speech and we can engage in security activities, and so that we can accept investments and seek a modest profit and reward those who invest with us. So we are organized with the same kind of multi-purpose function a medieval order has. But we are not an order we are not an order like the Order of Garter. We're not founded by a king per se, and we're not a order that only noblemen could be a member of. Anyone can join our order, and there are 3 ways to join the order. And you can join as a volunteer, like AJ volunteers all his time. And he even went so far as to write a book that we sold on our website and helped us raise some funds. And or you could volunteer as a military pledge if you have military experience and want to serve with us in a security capacity. Or you can pledge as a member a certain amount of money every year. We have different levels going from lay member all the way up to Duke. You can pledge at different levels to financially support the order, and those are capital pledges as investors in our entities and ventures that we undertake. And you could also be a direct investor buying stocks in our entities. So those are the 3 ways. Of course, you can always help us on social media getting the word out. So
Yeah. Yeah. When we launched our next stock thing for our social media platform, I wanted to test the link, see if it actually worked to go to that page. I was like, page not found. So I told you, you're like, so that's why no one's been buying our stock for all this time.
yeah, the slightest little technical glitch on a website can do that. So now everything's open, so you can download our prospectuses directly and do that. We worked out all those bugs. So AJ is even a website tester on the side. He does a little of everything, and he's the powerhouse of the order. Because AJ and I are the 2 volunteers. We don't get a salary. We're not reimbursed for what we do. We do this for the love of God. Our whole order is dedicated to the service and imitation of Jesus Christ, who said, "Greater love no man hath than he who lays down his life for his friends." And so we try to inspire the spirit of generosity, sacrifice, and volunteerism in helping Christians who are persecuted, even to the point that we risk ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the whole spirit of order. So we're not like all those other talking heads on social media, which is like, give me money, give me money. I have a family and I have bills to pay. And after giving that spiel for a couple of years, they're ending up buying $500,000 houses in their own name. And they get wealthy from it. You are making them wealthy. No one who's sent money to Order Militaris has made AJ or I a penny richer. Okay. AJ is, if you don't know, he's homebound. He has health problems, and about all he could do as an apostolate is through social media, and he's extremely active. If he's not sleeping, he's somehow helping and promoting the order and its affairs. And I'm a Franciscan hermit. I don't have anything, and I live by a divine providence. And so we both, in our own way, try to inspire all Catholics to help and join in the order. And we've had a lot of members from different countries around the world. We've had, in the last 5 years, we've had members pledge from New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, Tanzania, We've had a pledge from India. We've had pledges from the Philippines. Of course, majority of the pledges from the United States, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico. We've had pledges from Portugal, from Spain, from France, from England, from Ireland, from Scotland, from Belgium. We've had pledges from Germany, the Czech Republic, from Switzerland, from Italy, from Austria, from Poland, from Lithuania, and I probably haven't named all the countries. There's probably Brazil. I can't forget Brazil. We've had a pledge from Brazil and a pledge from Argentina. I'm not trying to think of, I can't forget Colombia, our stronghold there in South America. We have a chapter there actually. And I think that some islands in the Caribbean too, I could name it. Oh, we've had pledges from Malta, the great ancient bastion of the Knight Hospitallers. And I think we've even had donations and supporters from Israel. And if you look at the map of our website, ordo-militaris.us, and AJ will put the link to this in the show's notes, you can see a little map on the bottom of the front page for all our projects we've done. And we supported refugees and victims of tragedies in Armenia, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, India, and Hawaii. And we've helped persecuted religious in the United States. So we have a worldwide effort that we do, all for the love of Jesus Christ, not for our own enrichment.
Yep. And we used to have a lot of members on Twitter, but I think they got tired of all the censorship and just went somewhere else. So you can, in the near future, you can all come back to our own site.
Yeah. So yeah, we used to. Well, our main account on Twitter, Militaris CAF. Okay, that's the handle that you can find us on Twitter, Clout Hub, Parler. I think even Gab. I think I have a Gab account on Gab. That we're not really active in any of these platforms anymore. People left. We have like 8,000, 9,500 followers, but Twitter has really done massive censorship. They only allow less than 0.5% of our followers see our tweets and see our information on social. We've been banned from Facebook, banned from all kinds of platforms, and email. AJ, you got banned more than even the main account. But so we've decided that Christian liberty, to be defended, we need a Christian social media platform. And so AJ and I, we prayed about it, we talked about it, we thought long about it, and we started the endeavor in March, and now the site is under development. It's going to be called crossazur.net, and it's going to be a beautiful site where it's going to be like a Catholic fortress, Catholic city, founded on Catholic principles, that will allow anyone to participate, but Catholic principles will reign. So none of this Marxist censorship at all. We're not going to have that. And so that's a really new and exciting adventure that we're getting into. And it's you, our members, who make it all possible. Okay. So we'd love you have volunteers and help AJ and social media. We'd love to have investors who buy stock, either on Montana Corporation or in our social media platform. We'd love to have members who pledge, and I am very glad we've had a pledge. We even had a pledge from Italy yesterday. I want to say hello to the new Italian lay member there. And any way you can help is going to advance the work we do, because we are the only entity dedicated to the total defense of Christendom. And that's what makes us unique. And we're in the spirit of all your ancient ancestors, AJ. Maybe you could encourage Catholics today by the examples of some of your great ancestors, some of the memories you have of things you've read about them.
Yeah. It's these people, these kings, they would run circles around the politicians we have today. The one that I think most of is the one who should be canonized and then has a Twitter account, the Society of King James II / the Fourth, because he came back twice, told the Parliament to stick it. And at that time, it was getting as bad as it is today in Ireland, in Scotland, in England, where Mass and the sacraments are being banned. But the Catholics back then were more militant, more zealous for the faith. When they were hearing it was going to be banned, they didn't give up and do rosary protests and silently or beg the government to allow them to have their sacraments back. They took them underground into homes. They how should we say, modified their homes a bit with priest holes to hide priests, to hide the vestments, the liturgy books, to hide the Blessed Sacrament. They even were willing to go to the chopping block for the sacraments. That is something I told the Irish yesterday and the day before. And once they saw that, they're like, oh yeah. So I think I woke them up a little bit. That's what we need in the order. Catholics, people of goodwill, of that strong faith. To be just like that.
We shouldn't beg from dictators. We shouldn't bow down to anti-Catholic bigots and persecutors. We shouldn't lament about invasion. We should raise arms and repel invasion. And we shouldn't insist that we live in their cities. We should build our own cities. And we should build our own communities, and not communities that exclude only, that are private clubs for certain cliquey Catholics. So one thing I want to point out with Ordo Militaris is we are totally 100% uncontrolled true opposition. The globalists don't have a foot in our camp. We're not like nearly all the talking heads in the English-speaking Catholic world and many in the non-English-speaking Catholic world who are controlled directly or indirectly by the globalists, by the Freemasons. And you can see it. They will not admit the most simple truths. I mean, we were totally against the scamdemic. First week it came out. These others are like 9 months later, they're finally getting on the bandwagon. And they don't even remember the fact that they told people to wear the mask. They told people to stay home. They don't remember that anymore. I guess they're going to erase that from their websites. So the Ordo Militaris Catholicis is, I think, a true Catholic adventure. And I think our Lord Jesus Christ has been sustaining us with grace these many years, because this comes from him. He wants his kingdom defended on earth. And like that famous line in Becket, the church itself must be defended just like a kingdom is defended. And we need Catholics that are unabashed about that. And we understand that many of you in faraway lands can't help us in what we're doing directly. But you can by pledging. If you go to our Ordo Militaris, ordo-militaris.us/donate, you can see how to pledge as a member of the order. And that really helps a lot. So we currently, I think, have probably about a dozen lay members and a couple heralds and squires and a knight or two. And but we need a lot more. We once had much higher levels, and the effort we're going to be making on the social media platform is going to take a lot of capital. We need all of you to join, and on that platform you'll be able to sign up, because we're going to have a like an office inside the platform where you can join the order and help us.
Yeah. And, so please be generous. Please join us. And if you are on Twitter or on Facebook, join me and our Colombian member in spreading the word about Ordo Militaris on Twitter and Facebook. We sure need the help.
Yeah, that's one big thing you can have. So those of you who can't afford doing anything, or for the many young people who follow us who don't have a credit card, so they can't pledge, you can be an army, a silent army that gets the word out, because no one knows of us except through social media. Newspapers won't take our ads. Television, radio won't take our ads because they're all controlled by globalists. And a lot of social media platforms are just squelching Catholics. So our new social media platform will be a powerful way to do that. And we're going to organize it so you can, when you share a tweet and when you share a link on Cross Azure Net, it's going to give you a nice, beautiful embedded card. And you'll be able to share that with your friends on other social media platforms. And we're going to, it's our proposal is to make Cross Azure Net a place for social media, also for video. People who want to publish videos like of your parish, or if you're a videographer, or if you run your own video apostolate, and also merchants to sell their products and to make it kind of like an electronic Catholic city. And at the beginning, which is going to be by invitation only, just so that we can build up a certain number of people. Then we're going to open up to public recruitment, and we're going to reward you for recruiting members to the platform, because we believe that the social media platform shouldn't be to enrich the founders of it. We think it should enrich everyone who participates. That's a true Catholic society. And so under the aegis of our order, the protection of our order, I think Cross Azure Net is going to be something absolutely fascinating and wonderful and totally unique, because it's going to serve Jesus Christ and not serve the vanity or a private interest or profit of a few.
Yeah. So please like and share this program. It'll be up on YouTube. It'll be also directly uploaded to Odyssey by YouTube, and it will also be on Rumble. So please share those different video platforms. Get the word out, and stay tuned. We'll be coming right back with another program. We're going to get back into the groove of taking on the globalists.
Okay, and we'll do another program shortly about how to buy stock, Cross Azure Net stock. Thank you for all of you who have joined and pledged over the years. I encourage you to come back and join and pledge again. For those who just got to know our order, think about supporting something that is for the honor and glory of God and not for the private interests of some talking head. And Christ will reward you in this life and the work done, without doubt, because our intentions are pure, our objectives are holy, and we doing it as a true apostolate, not for our own interest. God bless and Deus Vult.
Deus Vult.